Welcome, dear listeners, to another soulful moment from the heart of Sheikh Hamdan, your beloved Fazza. Tonight's words are not just poetry, they are a confession of something sacred, something chosen beyond the ordinary. He whispers softly, "I have selected something more special for you." These words carry more weight than gold, more warmth than the desert sun. In his gentle tone, there is love that conquers silence and devotion that never fades. Fazza doesn't speak for the world to hear, he speaks for one soul to feel. The one who became the meaning behind his verses, the muse behind every heartbeat, the secret behind every smile. He once believed that everything special in life fades with time, beauty, fame, moments, but then she came, and he realized some things become more special as days go by. In the quietness of night, when the palace lights dim and the world forgets to listen, Fazza's heart begins to write again. He writes not on paper, but in the air between stars, naming each verse after her eyes, her laughter, her kindness. "I have selected something more special for you," he says again, but this time, it sounds like a promise to choose her above all noise, above all temptations, above all doubts. This, something more special, is not a crown, not a diamond, not a kingdom. It is his time, his attention, his loyalty. Fazza, the prince who owns so much, offers the rarest thing he has, his heart unguarded. He has seen beauty from every corner of the earth, but nothing rivals the beauty of sincerity. He has heard songs sung for him, but none echo louder than the whisper of her name in his chest. For her, he writes poems not to impress, but to immortalize. For her, he becomes human again, vulnerable, pure, and deeply in love. He recalls the day he realized she was more than just another admirer. She was a reflection of his unspoken emotions, someone who could read silence and understand pain. While the world admired his strength, she adored his softness. While others loved Fazza, she loved Hamdan, the man behind the crown. That's why he says, "I have selected something more special for you." It's not about gifts wrapped in luxury, it's about emotions wrapped in truth. He gives her the part of him that no one else has ever seen, the poetic soul that feels like eternity. Tonight, the moon seems to bend lower over Dubai, as if eavesdropping on Fazza's confession. The stars blink softly, like candles in the royal sky. The wind carries his verses far, whispering across dunes, "She is the reason I write." Every line he pens tonight carries her fragrance, every pause holds her memory. He has written about love countless times, but this poem feels different. It's the first one that feels alive. It breathes, it glows, it belongs to her. He doesn't just love her, he honors her with every sacred word. In the chambers of his heart, Fazza keeps a diary unseen by anyone. In its pages, he writes moments of gratitude, prayers for her safety, dreams for their tomorrow. He doesn't seek perfection from her, only truth. He believes love should not demand change, it should celebrate reality. And that's why he calls her something more special, not because she's flawless, but because she's real in a world full of illusions. He chose her not to complete him, but to share completeness in two souls intertwined. His voice softens as he ends the poem, his eyes glistening with serenity. "You are not just special," he says, "you are the reason my poetry became sacred." And with that, he seals his poem not with ink, but with emotion, a masterpiece of devotion that will live long after the night fades. The world might forget Fazza's titles, his races, his conquests, but it will never forget the tenderness in this one line, "I have selected something more special for you," because in that line lies the essence of love, pure and timeless. And as he closes his eyes, the universe seems to smile back. Every word he wrote tonight becomes a prayer, every pause becomes a heartbeat shared with her soul. The special thing he selected wasn't a gift, it was the truth of his heart, offered without fear, without pride, without end. For when Fazza loves, he doesn't love halfway. He loves with eternity stitched in every breath, whispering once more to the night, "You are my chosen one, my special one," the poem that will never end.
Fazza stood beneath the endless Dubai sky, feeling the weight of his unspoken emotions pressing against his chest. The moonlight kissed the golden sands, and he whispered once more, "I never wanted to hurt you," but the words hung heavy in the air, trembling like fragile glass. He wasn't a man afraid of storms or battles, but love had made him vulnerable, tender in ways he had never known before. His silence wasn't rejection, it was the language of a man too afraid to lose something precious. Yet, that silence became the very blade that cut the thread between their hearts. He closed his eyes, hoping that somewhere across the world, she could still feel the truth behind his regret. In the depths of his solitude, Fazza began writing again, this time not as a prince but as a man haunted by love. The ink on his page felt alive, bleeding sorrow, guilt, and devotion. He wrote about her laughter, the way her eyes held stories of faith and forgiveness. He remembered her voice, soft as wind, strong as prayer. "You were my calm," he whispered to himself, "and I turned that calm into chaos." Every verse he wrote was an attempt to stitch the wound he had caused, yet every line reminded him that love once broken never returns the same. It transforms into memory, into longing, into poetry. He walked through the royal stables at dawn, where even the horses seemed to sense his melancholy. Their quiet breaths and soft movements mirrored his own heartbeat, steady but aching. "I never wanted to hurt you, but life got louder than love," he confessed to the silence. Responsibilities, expectations, and the burden of a royal heart had made him hide his tenderness behind strength. But love, he realized too late, doesn't survive behind walls, it survives in vulnerability. She had offered him a simple truth, "Love me as you are." And he, in his fear of imperfection, chose distance over confession. As the sun rose over the desert, Fazza remembered her last words, the ones she spoke with trembling lips and tear-filled eyes. "All I wanted was you to stay." Those words carved themselves into his soul like sacred scripture. He stayed silent then, thinking time would heal everything, but time only deepened the ache. "I never wanted to hurt you, but I thought love could wait," he murmured. Now he understood, love never waits, it fades in the pauses we create. And though he still breathed, a part of him had died the moment he let her walk away. Days turned into months, yet the memory of her remained like a constant melody playing in his veins. Every time he smiled in public, his heart whispered her name in private. She had become his invisible companion, present in his thoughts, absent in his arms. The poets of the world wrote of love's beauty, but Fazza was living love's punishment. He didn't just lose her, he lost the version of himself that existed only when she was near. "I never wanted to hurt you," he wrote in his journal, "but I didn't realize that silence can destroy what love once built with words." One night, he visited the spot by the sea where they used to sit together, just the two of them and the whispering waves. He could almost hear her laughter dancing on the breeze. The moonlight shimmered on the water, and Fazza knelt on the sand, his eyes reflecting the shimmer of tears. "If only you knew," he whispered, "how much I still pray for your peace." He had wealth, fame, and power, but none of it compared to the ache of missing her warmth. He had written 1,000 poems, yet none could undo a single tear he caused her. Love, he realized, is not about perfection, it's about presence, and he had failed to stay.